Every now and then, I ask myself, how did we get here? How did that happen? Well, if you look back, these finite systems have led us to be very comfortable. And in that comfort, we have stopped doing many things. Modern convenience solely dependent on being plugged in to the commercial system. So if you look at your house, like I envision sometimes the house as this box that's plugged in to a corporation, multiple corporations, and everything in that house needs to function needs to come from one of these corporations. So your water, your power, your septic, your food, your internet, your TV, your phone, all of these things, in order for your house to function, your heat, your oil, your gas, your propane, all of those things need to come in and always come in and always come in and always come in order for that to function. So it's just plugged into the system constantly. And it always needs energy to pay for that, which is always flowing into that house, into that structure, into those people, into your whole process. If we changed that, in other words, what if, now that we have modern society, okay, let's re-envision a structure, a house, a building, a home. Let's do this and have fun with it. So the normal house is plugged into this commercial system. And you're hungry, go to the store, bring it back, put it in your fridge. You're cold, turn up the heat. You're too hot, turn up the air conditioner or turn down the air conditioner. You are it's raining or it's windy, shut the windows. Keep your box of air at the temperature you like it. Make sure the electricity's pumping. Make sure you're busy enough so that you have money to keep paying for it until you're dead, because you cannot stop paying for anything of those systems coming in that structure without it not working properly. In other words, no heat, no air conditioner, no power, no water, maybe no septic. I mean, all of the above, right? So you're constantly paying out nonstop to keep this commercial system. But we don't think anything of it. Why would you? That's just how life is. That's what happens, right? You have a house, and the house is plugged into the grid, and the water's plugged into the water system, and the septic's plugged into the town septic, and the food comes from the grocery store, and the heat comes out of the floor, and the big truck shows up with a tank, and somebody else takes the garbage, and that's it. That's how it all functions. Everywhere. Look, that's how it is everywhere. Right? Let's think about this. You can make a structure. Look at Earth's biotexture. Look at Earth's biotexture. Michael Reynolds, most brilliant man on the planet, I think. I mean, he's phenomenal. He should be treated, he should be president, he should be running the world right now. Michael Reynolds, Earth's biotexture. This man had the whereabouts, the wherewithal, the understanding, the concentration, the reading of the planet, the looking around and saying, wait a minute, this is different. This could be totally different. And what he did was he realized, you dig down into the earth, 12 feet in, you've hit 55 degrees. You are 55 degrees. You go all over the planet, 12 feet in, 55 degrees. Phenomenal. What? 55 degrees? That's not too cold. That's not too hot. That's a good starting point. You take that 55 degrees and you insulate that 55 degrees. Insulate it. Make a nice little warm little hut, right? And then put a window in and face that window south, or face it to the sun. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you're south. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're looking north. You face it to the sun. That sun allows you to warm that building up at no expense. That sun does not send you a bill. That earth does not send you a bill. That house is comfortable because the planet spins in a certain way, and the sun always comes up over there and goes across the sky and goes down over there. And if you position your house to catch that sun, because you know it's going to happen every day, 365 days a year, for millennia, for billions of years. The Earth isn't going to send you a bill for your 55 degrees. It doesn't care. It says, take it. The sun, have all you want while I'm here every day. So your structure, you can make an adjustment here or there. You put a hole in the roof, a vent, an opening window at the highest point where the warm air can get out. And you put a vent dug into the ground, coming through with a cap on it so you can close it. And when you open the vent so the hot air can get out, you know what happens? If you open the lower vent, convection airflow. In other words, hot air wants to get out, well, air's got to come in for it to go out. It sucks the cool air in. You have now got functional air conditioning in a house that's already in a stable temperature, but you can refine that temperature at no cost. In other words, when you open that vent and the convection starts happening, guess what? Earth isn't going to send you an air bill. Nope. No air bill. It's not going to say, you just let out hot air from your roof and sucked in cold air from the ground. No, it's not going to care. It's going to let you use that air how you want to pass it through your building. And that building's going to remain at those temperatures. In other words, if you close that building and let the sun come in the middle of winter and let it just warm up, guess what? It's going to be warmer than the 55 degrees. It's going to be warmer than that. It's going to come up, and it's probably going to get close to 70, 72, and all that warmth is going to get into the walls, and that sun's going to set, and those walls are going to bleed that heat back into the room. And then guess what? That sun comes back up. Yes, it does. So that starts heating the room back up. Guess what? It's a cycle, a natural cycle. No, the sun, I promise, will not send you a bill for coming up in the morning or even going down at night. It's amazing. So, think about that one. Now, water. It can be dry in places. Now, this guy, Michael Reynolds, phenomenal. He realized rain falls from the sky. Unbelievable. And, check it out. At night, when everything cools off, the roof and all the dew that happens, that also will drip down, and you can catch it all. You can take the rain from the roof and put it into a tank, and the dew from the roof, put it in a tank, and continually add to your water supply. It's amazing. And you might think, is that really going to be enough? Could it possibly be enough? Well, I mean, it depends. It does depend. There's a few factors in there. But, once again, guess what? When the water and the dew happen, you know something? They don't send you a water bill. I mean, really, the earth won't send you a bill in the mail for the rain. I mean, who would have thunk it? So, okay, so rain's falling from the sky onto the roof, into the tank. Gravity works pretty good. And you can even use a pump. And you can use that water. But think about this. Listen, this is how smart this guy is. This guy is freaking brilliant, I'm telling you. What he did is he's like, you know what? If I washed my hands, maybe I feel like taking a shower. If I take a shower in this water, and that water's dirty. I mean, that water's dirty. It's got grime and yuck. Maybe even water in it. I mean, that. But, guess what? In that house, you have an area where there's a greenhouse. And that greenhouse has a planter. It's like the planter is like a biofilter. And guess what? When you shower, that water goes into that bioplanter. And that bioplanter, guess what? There's plants in it. And you know something? Those plants, they really love that water. that dirty water, all the grime, all the muck. They're like, oh my God, this is delicious. Please, I will take more of this. And you know what's crazy is like, if you put tomato plants there, right? Those tomato plants are going to be like, feed me. I will eat this up. And then afterwards, don't tell the tomato plants this. You can come back out later on and be like, hey, tomato, guess what? You're ripe. And I'm going to eat you. So wait a minute. I know that's kind of weird. You took a shower and you're going to like water the plant and the plant's going to feed you. So that's kind of strange. I get it. But you know what's even cooler? The tomato plant will not send you a bill. It won't. It's not going to send you a bill in the mail. It's amazing. And you know what? That water you showered with, well, the tomato plant's not going to send you a bill for dumping your dirty water there because it's like, please send me more. So that's cool, right? I mean, now you have a free tomato, basically, and you've used the water to wash yourself, and then you fed the plant. So it's like, holy crap, what have we discovered? You are literally reusing the water in the best possible way you possibly could, right? Except then, this guy's even more freaking brilliant. You know how come? Check this out. So, that water that the plant used, it didn't use all of it, and some of it went down through into the planter bed, into the base, down the stones, and there's a filter down there. And that filter goes to like a tank where that water just sits, and it's a lot cleaner than it was when you showered with it. Then you have to go poop. Guess what? When you go poop, when you go poop, it stinks, and you want to wash that stink down. And that stink, when it's swirling around, going bye-bye, well, get this one. You use the water that the plant didn't want that was filtered to flush your toilet. So now, that water that was on your roof, that made it to the cistern, that made it to your hands or your shower, that then made it to the plant, then made it to the tank, then made it to the toilet. Holy smokes. I mean, think about this one. Think about this for just a minute. You have rain from the roof that just washed your hair, that then watered your plant, that then it flushes your freaking toilet. I mean, that water did a lot of work. You got every bit of work out of that water that you could possibly ask for. You get to send it out after that. It's done. But it's not really done because this guy is so freaking brilliant. That water goes out to the septic tank, right? And the poopy turdies go down into the tank, and the tank does its separating microbiotics thing, and then the poopy water coming out the other end, guess what? You're not going to believe it. It goes down into like this little swampy area that makes a beautiful little garden. Not even swampy. Just like this garden grows up out of the area where the gray water's coming out, where the leach field is. So yeah, you pooped in that water, and that water made it out into a tank that settled out, and then the tank was running the extra water that's been filtered, and the plants out there. Now, I'm not talking edible plants. I'm talking beautiful flower gardens. Guess what? You don't have to fertilize them. So, guess what? Check this out. Those plants are working for you by breaking down all that nutrients, sucking up the water, making it pretty, filtering the air for you, making it beautiful outside your house. And they're not even going to send you a bill in the mail. They're not going to send you a bill in the mail. Wait a minute. I'm not done yet. This is brilliant. We're just getting through the water. We're getting through the water. We just used the water 4 times. 4. Wait, is it 4? We showered with it. We fed the plant with it. We flushed the toilet with it. We used it outside in the big garden. Oh my. Yeah. Okay, so next step. Solar panels. Everyone knows solar panels. they've become pretty efficient. The house itself doesn't require a huge heating system or a huge air conditioning system or even fans to move the air. It's amazing. And LEDs have become very efficient. So putting a system in that will run washer and fridge and dryer and the mechanical things that you want to have in a house isn't really that big and demanding in comparison to your average house that's plugged into the system that everything's constantly cranking through. Nope. It's freaking amazing. Solar panels have become efficient enough. Batteries have become efficient enough. And the house itself is designed efficient enough that you, once you put that in, guess what? I know. You're asking the sun to do double time on this one. Hey, the sun doesn't give a shit. The sun's like, I got all you want. How much more do you want? No bill. The sun isn't going to send you a bill for that energy afterwards. I mean, if you buy it on credit, the credit people that you bought the panel from, they're going to send you a bill. Abso-freaking-lutely. But guess what? The energy that's coming from that sun, nah. Sun's not going to give you a second bill. Not even going to give you a first one. Think about that. So, wait a minute. In this discovery of what we're dreaming, of what we're looking at, of what this guy has done, and I'm standing here telling you about it because why? Because it's not the most freaking amazing thing in the world. Like, how could you not want to make this the standard, or at least in some contemplation, to ease the stress on a population? Well, I mean, if you're a corporate monster that's plugged into your house, why would you want this information out there? You wouldn't want any of this out there. You'd be like, shut that shit down. Don't tell them any of this. Don't let them know water falls from the sky. Don't let them know food grows from the ground. Don't let them know that 55 degrees is 12 feet under that ground, and that if you face the building to the sun, you're going to be as warm as you want to freaking be. What the frick are you going to do if you tell them that? They're not going to want to buy anything from us. They're not going to want to buy power from us. They're not going to need to buy as much groceries from us. We're not going to have to ship shit all over the freaking place. I mean, this whole thing just falls apart for us. Don't let any of this be known. Be quiet. Because really, I mean, they're making a bundle. The average human being is not living as comfortable as we could be had we designed with this standard in mind. In other words, if we recontemplated how we build a structure in the first place and how we use the materials and the earth and the natural harmony that's there, well, we can produce a lot more from the earth without having to bill us for everything that's there. Why should we have a conversation like this? Why? I mean, I think we should be worried about climate change, shouldn't we? Well, wouldn't it make sense that if we were producing most of our needs within the structure itself, that the energy you put into your making your money or doing what you do to earn an income doesn't have to pour out to those corporations in the same way. You actually get more control of you and your life and where you're putting that energy. But if you are working to your wit's end to try to keep food on the table, to try to have enough heat to make it through a month, to try to have enough money to pay your electric bill or to keep rent, because all of the rest of the shit costs so much, why wouldn't we want to design with these principles in mind? So maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's been like an accident that happened. Maybe the world was like sidetracked. We looked at our phone, we watched our TVs, we got our programming, the school taught us how to act, the electric company told us where to plug in, and things just happened that way. Okay, we were sold a package. The commercial came on that told you, you're plugged in, you're safe, you're good to go, just do what we say and pay the bill here. Well, that plays, that works, it makes sense. Look around. That seems to be how everything functioned. But what if we're looking for a new solution and we want to find a way to ease the process of the human being in the situations that we're in? And I think that comes with the cost of understanding the elements in an ecosystem and how the earth and the things function, so we can integrate those things into the living structure. So that way, they aren't a million bills. They're a part of you taking a shower to feed yourself because the plant loved it and none of it sent you a bill. So what if when you rented a home, when you rented an apartment, when you rented in a complex that had these systems already integrated into it, that your energy, your taking a shower, let the greenhouse function to help feed you, to help keep you warm, and to purify your water, you change the dynamic of the needs and the stress on the system. In other words, you won't need to ship as much oil across the country, or natural gas across the country, or food across the country in the same way, because those things will then be produced without hardly trying, because it'll be part of an ecosystem that's been developed. Now this is all not for me. This is not for me. I found this. This is like, why doesn't the world not know about this? We need everybody to know about this thing. I mean, are you kidding me? A house that can do almost everything for you? Think about that. I mean, if I'm working to build one of these. We need millions. We need hundreds of thousands. We need a single one development that has multiple places as an example. Then we're starting to make some kind of impact for the actual living beings that are tied to this weird commercial corporate system that has everybody so plugged in and mind plugged into it that they don't even know it. They're like VR goggles to the head and all the sensory stuff's on it. It's like, we're going to take everything from you and you're going to love every bit that we plug you into. And instead, they're never going to let you know the real world. Like, that water falls from the sky and food grows from the ground, and the heat is actually there if you balance things out and look at it in the proper way. And they're the simple things. Five things, remember. We're only really aiming for 5 freaking things. Everything after those 5 things is like cakewalk. Freaking cakewalk. Think about that. You got food, you got shelter, you got clean water, you got clean air. What is there not to love? That's going to make like, whoo, okay. I think we hit that point, then we finally get to a point as human beings, whether we have AI and robotics or not, that we stabilize as humans and not worrying about our needs, and then can focus on our passions more. The things that I don't think all humans, given the chance to just go home and not have to work and go eat and watch what you want, you're going to get a lot of people do nothing and do exactly that. But you're also going to find a massive part of the population that says, you know what? I can just learn how to play piano. I can paint. I can construct this who's-in-my-wobbit. I mean, the things that we then get a chance to think of and do and create will then come alive. Right now, it's like a struggle just to stay alive. So I would like to ponder these things. Get this thing out there a little bit in the world. There is so freaking much to have to do out there just for people to stay alive. And nobody's giving any good ideas here. not in a big way, not in the public's eye, not where people can go, hey, Musk, look at this. Maybe we could do something this way and help thousands of people and change the freaking planet in the way we look at housing, instead of just building some tiny house that somebody has to plug into the system. Not that they're not good, not that you can't do that. It's still great. The thing is if we don't take the time and have it in our hearts to imagine and dream and use what's here to remake it into a new thing that's going to work for people, it's just falling apart. And maybe that's what's bound to happen. I'd like to think that the voice hasn't been given to the people who really want to make a difference. So let's try to hear that voice. Let's try to think forward. There's so much more we can do. But right now, the struggle seems to be people fighting each other and fighting concepts and fighting ideas. And the ideas they're fighting aren't even like good ideas. They're just like bullshit to fight about. When five things is what it takes for every single human being on the planet to live, to be. 5. So it doesn't seem too hard. I mean, really, it doesn't seem too hard. But in reality, turn and look at the mess that's out there. So this guy, Michael Reynolds, he is the guy, Earthship Biotecture. What a concept in the beginning. And I don't even want to tell you how they put the buildings together, because that, I won't say it ruins it. It makes it even better. It's fucking more mind-blowing than you can even picture. But that's not the point of it. The point of it is what he discovered in making this structure function the way it does. It relieves the needs of the human being in a symbiotic working of the home structure unit. That's what's so amazing. It's like, it's what is almost a requirement, but it's not. It's not even known. It's like, I can't believe it. Anyways, I don't want to take more time right now to try to delve. We'll go farther later. Thank you for listening to me rant about this. I am pretty passionate about it. I think there's a lot that can be done. I have some fantastic ideas. I'm trying to build one myself in the process. I'm almost there. I'd like to be living in it. I will show it on this channel at some point coming up. I plan to do more talks on this. I hope that we can have more of these talks, and maybe you'll be interested in seeing what there is to see. This is new for me. I have not done this too much. I'm still new at this. So please give me some, we'll get there. It'll get better. I hope. Or it's going to get a lot worse, one of the two. Anyways, let's work together on